The boat's fully equipped to the full complement of life jackets and life rafts. Life jackets are stowed underneath the fixed seating in the lower saloon and in a locker on the upper deck, clearly marked with green signs. All exits are clearly marked. In the unlikely event of an emergency, our captains will give you full instructions. Now, for your own safety, I'd ask you to remain seated as much as possible, reminding you that no smoke is allowed on this vessel, and if you have a mobile phone, I'd ask you very kindly to switch it off or turn it to silent now, please. Thank you.
Just for kids.
You are of course very welcome to venture downstairs, but as you walk up and down the steps, do please be careful. Bridge up until around about 1740. It's believed that the vast majority of this version dates back to around about 1862, painted green for a reason. The one ahead is Lambeth Bridge. Over on our right hand side we see the large tower with the clock face, affectionately known as Big Ben. Big Ben there refers to the 14-ton bell inside that tower. The official name of the tower, however, is simply the Clock Tower, and the name Big Ben refers to the general. So we have the House of Parliament on our right hand side. Not as old as many people think. This version was fully completed 1870, because the original burnt down in 1834, redesigned in this mock Gothic style by two gentlemen, Charles Barry and Augustus Wilby Pugin. Augustus Pugin did lots of detail that goes around the outside. You see the coat of arms that represent all the aristocratic families in England and Wales, and below that, below the next set of windows, is a Latin inscription, and it's of the Lord's Prayer. Repeated over and over again, goes all the way around the house, put there to ward off a year after every election, then they're destroyed, and there's over 700 years of parliamentary records there as well. Now, the original Palace of Westminster on this site, as it's officially known, was home to Henry VIII up until 1512. Then he moved out and gave it to government. He gave them the upper house and the lower house, upper Lords, lower Commons. The green and the red canopies on our right, these are VIP drinking areas, but they also denote the two sections in the house. The red takes you through to the Lords, where the senior MPs sit on red seats ratifying legislation. Green through to the Commons, elected MPs on green seats debating on that legislation. Also in the original is where you were tried for treason. We can see at the far end, ahead of us of the House of Parliament, the little turret with steps going down towards the Thames. Black rod steps. Now, if anybody was found guilty of treason in the original court of the original Palace of Westminster on this site, sent down those steps, put on a waterman's boat, there'll be a gentleman on that boat waiting for them with a very large axe, the sharp end pointing towards the prisoner. Takes them from there on a wonderful journey over to the Tower of London at low tide, through the entry to the Traitors' Gate, into prison, head chopped off, put on a stake on London Bridge. Now, if the prisoner was on the boat and the axe was facing away from the prisoner, they were taken from here over to the Tower of London, through the entry to the Traitors' Gate, into prison to remain for the rest of their lives. Don't worry, it doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately. Over to Tower Bridge. If you just look over to your left, we can see the fortress-like building with the flag, St George's flag, flying above it. It's flying above Lambeth Palace, home to the Archbishops of Canterbury, been their home since the 1490s. These are three of the original south wings of St Thomas's Hospital. Now, before St Thomas's was here, it was founded by King Edward VI in 1551 over in the area of Southwark. Rebuilt on this site during Queen Victoria's reign in 1868. One ward was open to the 4 got bombed, 3 we have left, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. One of them houses an original operating theatre and a museum dedicated to Florence Nightingale, who opened the first nursing school. Now, staying on that World War II theme, back at the House of Parliament, now, he was commissioned to redesign the Commons Chamber at the House of Parliament. Now, if you go in there, you'll note that it's not as ornately designed as other parts of the House, because apparently Sir Giles Gilbert Scott was unable to replicate the designs of Sir Charles Barry and Augustus Pugin because they were too difficult. Fully completed, 1870. MPs on horse-drawn carriages. They were in the Commons, they entered via Westminster Bridge. Remember, the Commons is all upholstered in green. If they were in the Lords, they entered via the bridge behind us. There we can see the British Airways London Eye, the world's highest observation wheel, designed and conceived by husband and wife architect team David Marks and Julia Barfield. Mainly paid for by its sponsors British Airways, it cost £75 million. But this is a very international structure. The capsules were made in France. The glass around the capsules came from its construction. 2,100 tons of steel from the Dutch company Hollandia. And the British effort. I feel so proud to be British. The benches inside the capsules. £3.50 each from MFI. There are 32 capsules, they're numbered 1 to 33 however, number 13 being missed out for people of a nervous disposition. Now there are many packages you can have on the Eye: champagne flight, champagne breakfast, continental breakfast, mulled wine,